The silver ship landed in the desert outside Las Vegas just after sunset. Its metal skin cooled with soft hisses as lights from the city blinked in the distance. Inside, Ambassador Zixtal adjusted the settings on his human form projector. He wanted to make a good first impression. Remember, he told his crew of 12, we are here to study, not to interfere. Earth's nightlife energy readings are unlike anything in the known galaxy. The Voidwalkers had watched Earth for nearly a decade. They came from a planet with 3 suns where darkness never fell. The concept of night fascinated them. Even more interesting was how humans changed when darkness came. They danced, they sang, they transformed. The ship's door opened, and Zixtal led his team toward the waiting cars. The human government knew they were coming. After years of secret talks, both sides had agreed to a cultural exchange. The aliens would learn about Earth's nightlife, and humans would get some basic space travel technology. Ambassador, welcome to Earth, said a man in a black suit. I'm Agent Perry. We've arranged for you to meet your civilian guides tonight. The drive into Las Vegas amazed the aliens. Massive buildings lit up the night sky with colors they had never seen before. Humans walked the streets even though it was dark. Music poured from open doors. The air smelled of food, perfume, and excitement. Is it always like this? Asked Sub-Commander Nexfor, looking out the window with wide eyes. This is nothing, Agent Perry said with a smile. Wait until midnight. The cars stopped at a building with a glowing blue sign that read Eclipse. Agent Perry led them inside to a quiet area away from the main dance floor. 2 humans waited for them. Ambassador Zixtal, meet Kate Miller and Greg Phillips. Kate is our city's best bartender, and Greg owns this club. They'll be your guides to Las Vegas nightlife. Kate was tall with short brown hair and curious eyes. Greg had a friendly smile and strong handshake. Neither seemed afraid of the aliens, even when the projectors flickered and showed glimpses of their real forms. Tall, blue-skinned beings with 4 arms and silver eyes. Sorry about that, Zixtal said, adjusting his device. Our projector technology still needs work. No problem, Kate said. I've seen weirder things at 3 a.m. in my bar. Greg offered them drinks specially made to be safe for alien biology. So you came all this way to see people dance and party. There must be more to it than that. Zixtal sipped his drink. Our scientists detected unique energy patterns coming from Earth at night, especially from places where humans gather. We've never seen anything like it in thousands of worlds. It's just people having fun, Kate said, but she looked uncertain. Perhaps, said Nexfor, but your fun creates energy readings that defy our understanding of physics. A young woman with curly hair approached their table. Greg, the main floor is packed. We need more security by the DJ booth. Samantha Cruz, our resident music genius, Greg said. Sam, these are our visitors. Samantha looked at the aliens with interest. Cool. Want to see the booth later? I can show you how I mix sounds to keep people dancing. We would be honored, Zixtal said. As Samantha walked away, Kate leaned forward. So what's the real plan here? No offense, but nobody crosses space just to see drunk humans dancing. Zixtal looked at his team, then back at Kate. We believe there's something special about Earth's night, something our people have never experienced. We've lived in endless daylight for our entire history. We want to understand what happens to your kind when the sun goes down. Greg exchanged looks with Kate. Well, you came to the right place. Tomorrow night, we'll show you what really happens after dark in Vegas. Just remember, some things that start in the night are best left in the night. In the corner of the club, a man named Jack Mason watched the meeting from the shadows. His eyes, much older than his face appeared, narrowed as he studied the aliens. He took out his phone and sent a simple text. They're here, and they know something. Outside, the moon rose over Las Vegas, and the city's true night was just beginning. The next evening, Eclipse was closed to the public. Only the aliens, Kate, Greg, and a few trusted staff were inside. The club looked different without crowds. Bigger, quieter, waiting. "We'll start slow," Greg said, turning on the lights and music systems. Nightlife isn't just about noise and drinks. It's about how spaces change when the sun goes down. Zixtal and his team watched with interest as Greg adjusted the lighting. The room shifted from bright white to deep blues and purples. The alien skin shimmered in response. "Your bodies react to the light changes," Kate noticed. "Is that normal for your kind?" "We have no natural darkness on our world," Zixtal explained. "Our bodies are trying to process these new sensations." Samantha arrived at her DJ booth and began to play music. Not the loud, thumping beats of a busy night, but something slower, with deep bass that vibrated through the floor. "Music is the heartbeat of nightlife," she explained as the aliens gathered around her equipment. "It tells people how to move, how to feel. Watch." She adjusted some controls, and the music became faster. The aliens' movements changed without them noticing. Their steps quickened, their forearms swayed in time with the beat. "Fascinating," Sub-Commander Nex4 said, studying the equipment. "The sound waves create physical reactions." He scanned the room with a small device hidden in his palm. His eyes widened at the readings. Kate brought over a tray of different drinks. "Nightlife isn't just about your surroundings. It's about what you put in your body that you wouldn't during the day." As the aliens tried the various drinks, strange things began to happen around the club. A glass slid across the bar without anyone touching it. The temperature near the back wall dropped suddenly. Shadows in the corners seemed to move when no one was casting them. Greg pretended not to notice, but Kate saw him watching carefully. The aliens were too distracted by their new experiences to see the oddities. "What is that sensation?" asked one of the alien scientists as the bass deepened. "It feels like my insides are vibrating." "That's the point," Samantha smiled. "Night music isn't just heard, it's felt." As the evening continued, more subtle, strange things happened. Ice cubes in a glass reformed after melting. A chair moved by itself. Whispers came from empty corners. The door opened, and Jack Mason walked in. He nodded to Greg, who looked relieved to see him. "Sorry I'm late," Jack said. He wore simple clothes, jeans, and a dark jacket. Nothing about him seemed special, but when he entered, all the strange occurrences stopped. "This is Jack," Kate introduced him. "He's a night expert." The aliens seemed uneasy around Jack, though they couldn't explain why. Their devices beeped softly when he passed. "Interesting technology," Jack said, looking at their scanners. "What exactly are you measuring?" "Energy patterns," Zixtal said carefully. "Your planet has unique emissions during night hours." Jack smiled. "Does it now? I wouldn't know anything about that." As midnight approached, the energy in the room changed. Even with just a few people, something was different. The air felt heavier, richer somehow. The aliens' instruments beeped faster. "This is what we detected from space," Nex4 whispered to Zixtal. "It's happening." Zixtal nodded and turned to Kate. "We haven't been completely honest with you. Our mission isn't just cultural exchange." "I figured as much," Kate said. "Earth's nightlife emits energy unlike anything we found in the galaxy. Energy that shouldn't be possible according to physics as we understand it." Jack moved closer, listening carefully. "We believe," Zixtal continued, "that something happens on Earth after dark. Something beyond simple social gatherings." "What kind of something?" Greg asked, his voice casual but his eyes sharp. "We don't know," Zixtal admitted, "but we intend to find out." Outside the club, clouds covered the moon. In the sudden darkness, something moved across the Las Vegas sky, something that was neither plane nor star. And deep below the city, old things stirred, sensing unfamiliar presences above. The night was just beginning. 5 nights had passed since the aliens first visited Eclipse. Each night, they collected more data, asked more questions, and seemed more excited by what they found. Kate watched them carefully, noticing how they always gathered their most important readings at exactly midnight. After closing time, Kate waited for Greg in his office. When he finally came in, she locked the door behind him. "We need to talk," she said. "These aliens aren't just here for fun. They're looking for something specific." Greg sighed and sat down. "I know. Jack has been watching them too." "And who exactly is Jack?" Kate asked. "He shows up each night. The weird stuff stops, and the aliens get nervous around him. What's going on?" Greg was quiet for a long moment. Then he walked to a painting on the wall, moved it aside, and opened a hidden safe. From it, he took an old book with a worn leather cover. "My family has owned nightclubs in Las Vegas for 4 generations," he said. "But that's not our real job." He opened the book to show a symbol that looked like an eye inside a crescent moon. "We're part of the Vigil, a group that has protected Earth's night secrets for centuries." "What secrets?" Kate asked, though part of her already knew. "The supernatural is real, Kate. Vampires, werewolves, fae, and things with no names. They've lived alongside humans forever, hiding in the night." Kate thought about the moving shadows, the whispers from empty corners, the glasses that refill themselves. And Jack. Jack Mason is over 300 years old. He's a vampire, but he's also a peacekeeper. He makes sure the supernatural beings in Las Vegas don't cause trouble. Kate should have been shocked, but somehow she wasn't. Deep down, she had always sensed there was more to the night than most people saw. "The aliens," Greg continued, "have detected the energy that supernatural beings create. That's what they're really after." "Do they know what they're sensing?" "I don't think so. Not yet. But Nextvor isn't just taking readings. He's collecting samples." Jack found one of their devices in the alley behind the club. It was trying to capture spirit energy. Kate remembered how she sometimes saw things others didn't. Brief flashes of light around certain people, whispers that no one else heard. "There's something else, Greg. Sometimes I see things." Greg smiled. "I wondered. You're a night seer, someone who can perceive the supernatural world without being part of it. That's rare." A knock on the door interrupted them. It was Jack. "We have a problem," he said when they let him in. "Nextvor took readings at the old cemetery tonight. He's getting closer to understanding what he's found." "What happens if the aliens discover the truth?" Kate asked. "Nothing good," Jack said. "Nextvor wants to take the energy back to his world. But supernatural energy can't be removed from Earth without consequences. It would be like removing all the oxygen from the air." "What can we do?" Kate asked. "The full moon is tomorrow night," Greg said. "Eclipse will be packed. Every supernatural being in the city comes out on full moon nights. And the aliens will be here too," Jack added. "If Nextvor realizes what he's seeing, he might try to capture some of that energy. Or worse, capture one of the supernatural beings," Greg said. Kate felt a strange tingling in her hands. When she looked down, her fingers were glowing faintly with blue light. "What's happening to me?" "Your night seer abilities are growing stronger," Jack explained. "The presence of the aliens has accelerated it. You're beginning to channel supernatural energy yourself." Outside, the sun was rising. Jack moved away from the windows. "We need to prepare," he said. "Tomorrow night, Nextvor will make his move, and when he does, the supernatural world won't stay hidden anymore." Kate looked at her still glowing hands. "Then we'll be ready for him." As they left the office, none of them noticed the small device under Greg's desk, blinking with a red light. In his ship outside the city, Nextvor listened to every word they said and smiled. The full moon hung heavy and bright over Las Vegas. Eclipse was packed with people dancing and drinking. But tonight was different. Kate could see it now with her awakening night-seer abilities. Among the humans were others. Their eyes caught the light in strange ways. Their movements were too perfect. or their shadows didn't quite match their bodies. "There are so many of them," she whispered to Greg. "Full moon brings them all out," he said. "Look around. Vampires by the VIP section, werewolves near the doors, Fi folk by the bar." Samantha was at her DJ booth, her music somehow different tonight. When Kate looked at her with her new sight, she saw waves of color flowing from the speakers, touching everyone in the club, making their emotions stronger. "She's a siren," Jack explained, appearing beside Kate. "Her music affects emotions, helps keep the peace between different groups." The aliens arrived just before midnight. Ambassador Zixtal seemed nervous, while Nexfor could barely hide his excitement. "Something's wrong," Kate said. "Where are the rest of the alien delegation?" As if answering her question, the club's lights flickered. Samantha's music cut out for a second. "They're here," Jack said, suddenly alert. "But not all in the club. Some are on the roof." Greg checked his phone. Security cameras show alien devices being set up around the building. They're creating some kind of energy field. Kate felt it, a pressure in the air like before a storm. The supernatural beings felt it too. They grew restless, looking around for the source. Nexfor moved to the center of the dance floor and raised his hands. He was holding a small silver device. "Begin extraction." He shouted into a communicator on his wrist. The ceiling seemed to become transparent. Through it, Kate could see the alien ship hovering above the club. A beam of purple light shot down, connecting with Nexvor's device. Chaos erupted. The supernatural beings reacted instantly. Vampires moved with blurring speed. Werewolves began to change shape, bones cracking as their bodies transformed. The Fey folk scattered, leaving trails of sparkling light. "Stop," Zixtal shouted at Nexvor. This wasn't the plan. But Nexvor wasn't listening. The purple beam grew wider, and supernatural beings caught in it froze in place. Energy flowed from them up into the ship. "He's stealing their essence," Jack said, his eyes now glowing red with anger. "If he takes enough, it could kill them." Greg ran to a hidden panel on the wall and pressed his hand against it. Symbols lit up around the club, protection signs that had been built into the very walls. Kate felt power rushing through her. Her hands glowed bright blue now. Without thinking, she pointed at Nexvor's device, and a bolt of blue energy shot from her fingers, knocking it from his hands. "The Nightseer is active," someone shouted. Around the club, supernatural beings turned to look at Kate with new respect. Outside, the sound of howling filled the air. More werewolves were coming. The vampires in the club gathered around Jack, waiting for his command. "We need to shut down that ship," Jack said, "before they can try again." The doors burst open, and more supernatural beings poured in. Creatures Kate had never seen before. Some looked almost human, others were clearly not. Samantha's music started again, but now it had purpose. It was a battle song, strengthening their side while disorienting the aliens. "You don't understand what you're doing," Zixtal pleaded with Nexvor. "These energies are alive." "That's exactly why we need them," Nexvor replied. "Imagine the weapons we could create." Greg stood on a table. "This club stands on a meeting point of supernatural ley lines. That's why I built it here, and that's why we can defend it." He pressed a button on his phone. The floor beneath them began to glow with ancient symbols. The entire club was one giant protection circle. Outside, more alien ships appeared in the sky. The battle for Las Vegas, and perhaps Earth's supernatural heart, had begun. The battle spilled out of Eclipse and onto the Las Vegas Strip. Tourists ran screaming as werewolves leaped across casino rooftops. Vampires moved like shadows between buildings. The Fey folk created illusions that made alien weapons fire miss their targets. Kate stood with Jack and Greg in the middle of the chaos. Her hands still glowed with blue energy. "We need to reach their main ship," Jack said. "The small ones are just support craft." A woman with gray hair pulled up in an old pickup truck. "Get in," she shouted. When Kate hesitated, The woman added, "I'm with the vigil. Name's Linda Ward." They climbed into the truck. Linda drove fast, weaving through the panicked crowds. "I run the Desert Moon Motel on the edge of town," she explained. "Been watching over the supernatural folk for 40 years. She pulled a cloth bag from under her seat and handed it to Greg. "Brought protection charms." Greg opened the bag to find necklaces with strange symbols. He passed them out. "Linda is a witch. These will shield us from alien scanners." The truck stopped at the edge of the desert where the alien mothership hovered. It was massive, blocking out the stars. "Their energy extractors are there," Linda said, pointing to 4 large devices around the ship. "They're trying to drain the supernatural energy from the whole city." Zixtal appeared from behind a rock. "I want to help," he said. "Nex4 has gone too far. This energy should not be taken. It belongs to Earth." Kate wasn't sure they could trust him, but Jack nodded. "He's telling the truth. I can sense it." "What is Nex4 planning?" Greg asked. "Our world is dying," Zixtal explained. "No night means no rest for our planet. Nex4 believes supernatural energy could save it, but stealing it would destroy your world instead." A loud howl echoed across the desert. More werewolves had arrived, led by a massive gray wolf. They formed a protective circle around Kate and the others. "Why are they protecting us?" Kate asked. "They're protecting you," Jack said. "A Night Seer can be a bridge between worlds. You can channel energy without harming its source." Linda began drawing symbols in the sand. "I can create a barrier to block their extraction, but I need power to fuel it." "Use mine," Kate said. She knelt and placed her glowing hands on the symbols. Energy flowed from her into the sand. The symbols rose into the air, creating a dome of light that spread over Las Vegas. On the Strip, Samantha had set up her equipment outside Eclipse. Her music played from every speaker in the city, carrying a message: "Rise and defend. Rise and defend." All across Las Vegas, people who had hidden their supernatural nature for years responded. A card dealer's eyes turned golden as his dragon blood awoke. A taxi driver shed her human skin to reveal scales beneath. An old man playing slots stood up straight, his centuries of age falling away as his true elven nature emerged. Nex4's voice boomed from the mothership. "This energy will be ours. Your primitive legends cannot stop our technology." As if in answer, the ground began to shake. Deep beneath the desert, something ancient stirred. The sand shifted and rose, forming a massive figure that towered even over the alien ship. "The Night Father," Linda whispered in awe. "Guardian of Earth's darkness since the first night fell." The sand creature reached for the ship. Its touch left the metal frozen and dark. "Impossible," Zixtal said. "It's neutralizing our power source." Nex4's extraction beams flickered and died. The smaller ships began to retreat. Kate felt something new, connections forming between her and every supernatural being in the city. Their power flowed through her, not leaving them but being amplified. "They're all linked," Jack realized. "The supernatural world isn't just separate beings. It's one living system." The Night Father turned its massive sand face toward Kate. A voice like the wind spoke in her mind. "Child of two worlds, the true battle begins now. The night has teeth, and it is hungry." The Night Father's sand body swirled around the alien mothership. Smaller ships tried to escape, but tendrils of sand caught them, pulling them back. Nex4's voice screamed orders over their communication systems. "We need to get on that ship," Jack said. "End this before more people get hurt." Linda began drawing more symbols in the sand. "I can open a path, but it won't last long." As Linda worked, strange lights appeared in the desert around them. Portals opened, and from them stepped beings that even the vampires and werewolves seemed to fear. Ancient vampire lords with skin like marble. Werewolf elders in half-form, standing tall on 2 legs with wolfish heads. Beautiful, terrible fey royalty with crowns of starlight. "The old ones," Greg whispered. "I never thought they were real." An ancient vampire lord approached Jack and bowed slightly. "Mason, it has been centuries." "Lord Blackwell," Jack replied. "The situation must be dire if you've left your castle." "When legends walk, we answer," the vampire lord said. "The balance must be maintained." Kate felt overwhelmed by the power radiating from these beings. They were living myths, creatures that most supernatural beings thought were just stories. An elegant fae queen with butterfly wings approached Kate. "A new night seer awakens. How interesting." Her voice sounded like bells and rushing water. "You carry the light of the night within you, child." Linda finished her spell. A tunnel of blue light appeared, leading directly into the alien ship. "It's ready," she said, "but I can only hold it for 5 minutes." "I'm going," Kate said. "We're going," Jack corrected her. "You'll need protection." Samantha appeared, carried by a swirling wind. "I'm coming too. My music can disrupt their systems." Greg looked at Jack. "I need to stay and coordinate with the vigil. There are still people in danger in the city." Kate, Jack, Samantha, and Zixtal ran through the light tunnel and found themselves inside the alien ship. The corridors were dark, emergency lights flashing. "The power core is this way," Zixtal said, leading them deeper into the ship. They reached a large chamber where Nexvor stood before a massive crystal that pulsed with stolen supernatural energy. The energy swirled with faces, spirits, and essences torn from their homes. "You're too late," Nexvor said. "I've already collected enough energy to save our world." "At the cost of this one," Zixtal said. "Our people don't sacrifice others to save ourselves." "We do now," Nexvor replied. He pressed buttons on a control panel. The crystal began to pulse faster. Samantha began to sing. Her siren voice echoed through the chamber, disrupting the ship's systems. Screens cracked, lights flickered. Jack moved with vampire speed, trying to reach Nexvor, but energy barriers blocked his path. Kate felt the connection to all the supernatural beings growing stronger. Through her, they could see inside the ship. They could help. "Let me in," she whispered to the power inside her. "Let me be the bridge." Blue light exploded from Kate's body. She floated into the air as energy poured through her from every supernatural being in Las Vegas. Not just their power, but their knowledge. Centuries of magic and secrets. "What is this?" Nexvor shouted, shielding his eyes. "This is Earth's nightlife," Kate said, her voice echoing with hundreds of others. "Not just parties and music. It's the heartbeat of legends that have walked alongside humans since the beginning of time." Outside, the Night Father pressed against the ship. The Old Ones raised their hands, sending their power to Kate through the connection. The crystal containing the stolen energy cracked. The trapped spirit swirled around Kate, joining her light. "Impossible," Nexvor whispered. "No single being can channel this much power." "She's not a single being anymore," Jack said. "She's all of us." Kate reached toward the ship's control systems. With knowledge borrowed from 1,000 supernatural minds, she began to rewrite the alien technology from within. The alien ship trembled as Kate's power rewrote its systems. Hallways rearranged themselves. Walls became transparent, then solid again. Nexvor's crew ran in confusion as their technology turned against them. "What have you done?" Nexvor shouted at Kate. "I showed your ship what night really is," Kate replied, her voice still carrying the echoes of thousands of others. "Not just darkness, but transformation, change, rebirth." The crystal holding the stolen supernatural energy shattered completely. The freed energy swirled around the room before returning to Earth through Kate's connection. Samantha's music changed, becoming softer, a lullaby that calmed the chaos. The ship stopped shaking. Jack approached Nexvor, who had fallen to his knees. "Your plan has failed. It's over." A new voice spoke from the ship's communication system. "This is the Galactic Council. Ambassador Zixtal, report your status." Zixtal looked surprised. "The Council wasn't due to check in for weeks." "I sent for them," said a small fey being that had hidden in Samantha's pocket. "We have friends among the stars, too." Zixtal stepped forward. "Council members, I must report that Sub-Commander Nexvor attempted to extract living energy from Earth against protocol. This energy is sentient and connected to the planet itself." Kate could feel the supernatural world watching through her eyes. The Old Ones, the Night Father, every vampire, werewolf, and fae in Las Vegas waited to hear the Council's response. "We have reviewed your ship's data," the Council replied. "Earth is hereby classified as a protected cultural treasure with unique living energy systems. All extraction attempts are forbidden. Nexvor, you will answer for your actions." Security officers from other alien ships arrived to take Nexvor away. He glared at Kate as they led him out. "This isn't over. Our world is still dying." "Then we'll help you find another solution," Kate said. "One that doesn't harm either world." Dawn approached as they left the ship. The Night Father was sinking back into the desert, his purpose fulfilled for now. The Old Ones were returning to their hidden realms. Regular supernatural beings helped repair damage around the city. At Eclipse, Greg had set up a command center. The Vigil members worked alongside vampires and werewolves to ensure no humans had been seriously hurt. "The official story is a gas leak caused hallucinations," Greg told them. "Humans will believe what they want to believe." Linda checked Kate's energy levels. "Your Nightseer abilities are stabilizing. You'll be able to control them better now." Zixtal approached with the remaining members of his delegation. "The Council has approved my request. I will stay on Earth as ambassador between our worlds and study your night properly this time, with permission." Kate looked at Jack and Greg, who nodded. "Permission granted," she said. As the sun rose, supernatural beings retreated to their hiding places. Vampires disappeared into underground shelters. Werewolves returned to human form. Fae folk vanished into invisibility. 1 month later, Eclipse reopened. It looked the same, but it wasn't. Symbols of protection were now visible to those who knew how to see them. The back room had been converted into an embassy where Zixtal met with representatives from various supernatural groups. Kate stood behind the bar, mixing drinks. Her Nightseer abilities let her see who was human and who wasn't. She made sure everyone got what they needed. Samantha's music played, weaving spells of peace through her melodies. Jack watched from his usual corner, now officially recognized as the vampire representative to both aliens and humans. Greg joined Kate at the bar. "So how does it feel to be the bridge between 3 worlds?" Kate smiled as she watched humans, supernatural beings, and carefully selected alien visitors dance together under the same lights. "It feels right. The night has always belonged to everyone." Outside, the moon rose over Las Vegas. In the desert, the sand shifted slightly. The Night Father slept, but lightly, ready to rise if needed again. Deep beneath the city, ancient powers dreamed peacefully. Above, stars twinkled alongside alien ships that now came as respectful visitors rather than invaders. Earth's nightlife continued as it always had, a place where the impossible became possible when the sun went down. Only now, its legends were known not just on one world, but across the stars.